I'm speaking in support of Resolution 666, just speaking for myself. This is regarding the open carry of guns. We do not need to loosen up gun laws. The United States has less than 5% of the world's population, but it has almost half of the world's guns that are owned by civilians. And a fact sheet for 2003 to 2013 from Sandy Hook Promise shows that almost 100 people died every day from gun violence in the United States, and over 200 a day were injured. The gun homicide rate in the United States is 25 times higher compared to other high-income countries. And if you break it down by state, I have a picture. The states that have more guns have more gun deaths, and Hawaii is fairly low on gun ownership and gun deaths, and I think we should keep it that way. When new laws get passed about owning and buying guns, gun violence tends to go down. This is based on a review of over 100 studies from 10 countries. Also, if you have a gun at home, it is 4 times more likely to cause an accidental shooting and 7 times more likely to be used in assault or homicide, and 11 times more likely to be used in a suicide compared to being used for self-defense. This is from Scientific American. And guns are used for self-defense in less than 1% of all crimes that occur when the victim is there. And self-defense gun use is about as effective as other defensive maneuvers, such as just calling for help. That's from a review of 5 years of data. What scares me most is the suicides. Guns work really well, so if you use a gun for suicide, unfortunately, you'll probably succeed. Nearly 2/3 of gun deaths are suicides. The United States gun suicide rate is 8 times that compared to other high-income countries. And if you have access to a gun and you try to commit suicide, the risk of death increases by 3 times. There was a study from Israeli researchers, and suicides among Israeli soldiers dropped by 40% when the military stopped letting soldiers take their guns home over the weekend. And the change was most pronounced during the weekends. So Scientific American, in their article, concludes, people, all of us, lead complicated lives, misinterpret situations, get angry, and make mistakes. And when a mistake involves pulling a trigger, the damage can't be undone. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is George Pace. I live in Mountain View. Please do not facilitate in any way the attempt by the Office of the Corporation Counsel, the Mayor, and the Police Chief to escape their consequences of many years of illegal and unethical policies by approving any agreement of any kind that would provide any legal aid to defend these county agents from what they have brought upon themselves, by having historically adopted a policy of openly, blatantly, unabashedly, and sometimes smugly violating the natural, fundamental, individual, unalienable, enumerated, constitutionally protected civil rights of Hawaii County residents who have sought to legally exercise their right to bear arms for self-defense outside their home. Let me provide a general context. The probability of being in a car accident and being a crime victim are approximately the same in Hawaii. In the first case, the state requires under criminal penalty that a person must have insurance. And in the second, under criminal penalty, requires that a person may not have insurance in the form of most common self-defense weapons outside the home. Equal probability of harm, virtually opposite treatment by the law. All the people in the county chain of command swore or affirmed an oath of office to uphold the constitutions of both the state of Hawaii and the United States, and both read, the right to the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. As Justice Thomas wrote, I find it extremely probable that the framers of the Second Amendment to protect little more than carrying a gun from the bedroom to the kitchen. Yet that is exactly what the county taxpayer-paid attorneys argued in attempting to continue to deny county residents our constitutionally protected rights. They did not argue in court that they did not have the legal expertise to make such policies. Why do they whine about it now? Only when they are being held to account for their years-long secret pronouncements, which they claim are protected by attorney-client privilege, that no one would be allowed to exercise their rights. At any time in the history of this county, the police chief could have issued licenses on the same basis as 43 other states have to over 16 million people. Likewise, the mayor or the office of the corporation counsel could have issued an advisory opinion or something similar, suggesting that the police chief issue licenses to typical law-abiding persons. They all chose not to, based upon their legal expertise. The record shows that not one single law-abiding person has ever been granted such a license. And now they whine that in fact they don't have and apparently never did have the legal expertise to make or defend such legal opinions. It'd be a joke if it wasn't such blatant hypocrisy. They must be held accountable and liable for their acts, and ethically they should be required to provide their own defense, as they were allowed for all these many years to impose their own legal expertise upon the constitutionally protected rights-deprived residents of this county. Please, no state bailout. Thank you.
My name is Erwin Chase, and I'm speaking on Resolution 66618. I guess the question is, using county taxpayers' money to hire an attorney because they don't agree with the judge's decision. I'm not pro-gun, I'm not anti-gun. I just don't like the idea that we're going to waste our taxpayers' money to fight a battle that is between this person and the state. Like I said, you know, it's about gun control, and like I said, I don't think taking our taxpayers' money to fight to take away a right from the people is good business. So I don't know where it's going to go or why they're doing it or anything about it, but that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Okay.